Hello, this is Ada Array from Bricks Maven, and in this video we're going to be looking to create a card list with a card CTA, as you can see in the middle. So this will be a query loop while we will be implementing a call to action in the center of it, as you can see. So, and as you can see from the other cards, they have some slight interaction to them. I might be, the goal here is to actually recreate this, but I might also change like the interactions on it or do something else, but we'll see. So as for now, follow me as we both build this page. Oh, and in this build, I will be using the core framework instead of ACSS. In the previous videos, you'll see that I used ACSS to build the blocks. I'll just be using them interchangeably. So sometimes I might use ACSS, sometimes I might use core, and I'll also be doing full website templates. But let me not go on the tangent or just go off the road here. Let me just get back to what we came to see. So this is actually called using the order property to insert a CTA card into a query loop. I know that there's been sometimes I've seen the question in the group how to do this, and I'll be making an example today so you guys can see how that's done. So buckle up, and here we go. So first, again, we always start with our section. Start our grid, and I'm calling this grid, I'll just call it grid. In the alpha library, this is called grid 30, so this is the grid 30, but we'll just call it grid here. Like I said, I'm using core, so this is the control panel, etc. Whatever I'm going to build today, you can build with ACSS, you can build it with custom CSS, not a problem. These frameworks just make your life easier, quicker, etc. Okay, let's go. Let's start with adding the blocks. So I will be, let's see, I need a intro. Let me see, I need an intro section here. So I'm just gonna reload these blocks. Intro, I need this one. Nope, it's not necessary, so there we go. Put it into the container. So now I do not need to do anything here. That is set. So our intro is set. Our next block will be the list. So this is our grid list, or grid list. And I will give this a UL tag. And in our grid list, I'll add 2 more blocks, which will be our main card. So this will be our main card, and this will be our CTA card. Because though I'll add a query loop to this card, right? So on our CTA card, no, let's start with the card. On our card, we'll give it a HTML tag of li, and also on the CTA card. On the card, I would have to add, let's just add all the elements to the canvas. So we need, let me see now, we did image, we did an overlay. I'm going to create like a content section. You know what, let me just start right. So I need a content section, I need a media wrapper for the image, and I need a overlay. Just gonna overlay. This will sit on top of the media, and in the media I need an image. There we go, and this will be the content, and I basically just need a heading, and I need a button. Yeah, and this should be call this call to action. And the heading itself should be, I'll give it a post title because I'll just be using the post type to pull in the headings and the images, etc. Right? And this can be blanco. We'll give it a styling later. Okay, we have our content, we have our heading, we have a button, we have our overlay, we have our media, and we have our image. As for the CTA card, we need basically a heading and a button. Let me see. What are you waiting for? Dive in today, something like that, something weak like this. It's just for an example. I think I had here, are you looking for custom quotes? Maybe that's better. The whole card is clickable, that's annoying. Are you looking for a custom quote? Are you looking for a custom quote? And then we also need this normal text, body text. Don't hesitate to contact us. Don't hesitate to contact us. And then get a quotes. Okay, so we're set. We see again, we have everything we need. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, these are all the elements that we need, right? So starting from the top, the grid itself, we need to now apply classes. I will be adding the classes first on the card, so that I'll go from top to bottom. So let's start here. We're using the I'm used to the auto BAM, so obviously Core does not have that feature. I will have to be using Advanced Steamer to do that. So you can look forward to that in the videos that will be coming. So for now, we just need to do this by hand. So this can get quite boring. CTA card, but I'll try to go to it as fast as I can. CTA card heading. Let's call this text. CTR text. Don't forget to add a tag. Paragraph is okay. So we have our H2, we have our H3, and this should also be H3. Okay. And for the call to action, this will be CTA. Yeah. CTA, and we might want to, let me add a button class for core. So we have a button, and I want it to be small. So get a quote, small. Okay. Okay, this is done. So let's move up. This will be card, grid card, image. Copy that, grid card image. This should be grid card media. Okay, we're flying, we're going pretty quick. Grid card overlay, grid card CTA, grid card heading, grid card content, grid card content, and this will be the grid card itself, and this will be the grid list. And I will add here on the layout, I'll remove the padding of 40. So that's set. Furthermore, intro is set, container needs to be set, container, and our section also needs a class, which is, I think I made a mistake on the container. It's not a grid card, it's just grid. Okay, so all the classes have been added. So the next step now is to start styling our our classes. So starting from the top, section is good. Container needs a gap. So with right mouse click, you can see the spacing here. Let me check to see if fluid color system. Okay, so yeah, we just need to pick a I think space 3 is a bit much. Yeah, Excel. I was actually hoping, because I added some classes from ACSS to like control the container gap, content gap, etc., which I should not use actually, because it's not something that it's natively in core. So I added them here. So we have our container gap, content gap. I actually thought that core would automatically like insert it into the, like here, into the, where you right mouse click, right, this modal that pops up. I think I saw it, someone having the options here, but I may be wrong. Anyways, let's continue. So this just we added our spacing here. Let me actually check if the variables work. Just a quick check. Container gap, then close. Okay, it works. Whoa. Wait, I'll have to change that. That is a lot. I think 2. Let's save that. Let me refresh real quick. Okay, 2. That's good. Whoa. Did my fonts just update? Oh, yeah. Before I started, I made some tweaks to the font, so, and I did not reload the editor. So that's my bad. Okay. Because everything just blew up in my face. Okay, so we've styled everything, and now we're moving, like I said, we're moving down. We've added a gap to the container, but I'm going to remove this and just add an Excel, to Excel, not to confuse anyone that is using core. Let's enter into our grid. We need to set a display grid on our grid list and add a gap. So we just use the spacing, I think spacing M would do, and there's no right mouse click, there's no grid variable, so we need to write our grid variables. So we add a 3 column grid here, min max 0, 1 fr. So we have 3 rows now, right? Okay, now we can move on to styling our card itself. So we can focus on the card. What we need here is the following. We need to make sure that, first of all, a card has a height and is also set to position relative. Why? Because the overlay and the image will be set to position absolute. So we need to make sure that it stays within the boundaries of the card. We need to confine it, right? Okay, so we also need to give this a height. I think 40 rem is a good height for the card. Or should it be a bit more? 48, want it a bit longer. Okay, so we're giving it our height. And I will also just give it a overflow hidden to make sure that nothing goes weird, nothing weird happens. Nothing goes outside of the card. On our overlay, I'll just skip the content and go directly to overlay. On our overlay, we will have to set this to position absolute and set all the values, all the properties to 0, 0, 0, and give this a Z index of 1 to make sure that it comes on top of the image. Go back to our grid media, also set this to absolute, also add the values 0, and just leave the Z index as it is. And after that, we can go and, oh wait, what am I doing? Let me move that. It's supposed to be on the image, my bad. The image. Absolute on the image, 0, 0, 0, 0. Z index can stay the way it is. Let's move back to our card, our content, sorry, and we make sure that this is set to a Z index of 2. We can also set this to relative, make sure that it's just on top of everything. So this is our setup. We want the image to be at the bottom, we want the overlay to be on top of the image, and we want our content to be on top. And as you can see here, our content might have a padding. So we'll have to give that a padding. But okay, you know what? Let's fix the content first. Just give it a padding of maybe XL, and then make sure that all sides are linked. It's a bit large, maybe L. L is good, okay. And we need to give this a height of 100%. And set this to flex. It's already set to flex. Column direction is column, and then we set this to space between to push the button down, right? So we have the same setup as here. That's what we want. So, and the next step will be, we don't need to do much here. The button, okay, we need to add the button class to it, and maybe we can keep the same color, because I don't have any specific. Okay, let's give it the color of red. Actually, it would have been nice if I could. Let me check. Let me just check real quick. We have a slide. We have the ghost. We have no. Could have added maybe something like a black button, which I can create it here, but anyways, let's just go with this. This is okay. I also make this small. So there we have it. Okay, so now let's go to our overlay and think about it, right? I'm using utility classes here, but since it's a query loop, I can always make the changes here and it will affect the other cards. If I was duplicating this, yeah, it could be a problem. If I had this on multiple pages, it would be a problem too, by the way. So obviously the best thing we'll do is to style it on the class, but for this example we're doing it like this. I only want this on a single page, so this is what we're doing. Okay, so we have our heading, content is styled, overlay is there. No, overlay is not there. Let's go to style. Let's give it a overlay, and we go to colors, and I want to duplicate this again because I want the bottom to be transparent, and I want the top to have some kind of transparency, dark transparency. So let's go down to dark, and I think dark 80 would be good. So something like this, right? And this all we need to do, nothing more. This is set, right? And as you can see, once we add the image, the text itself this needs to be white, so I will have to set a color on the title, so we give it the color light to make sure that it pops up, right? Or else the contrast is very bad and people won't be able to read our title. And by the way, I will have to check later once the titles are populated if it has enough space to contain all the titles. Yeah, so let us do the following. Image. I need to add the dynamic data to it. So featured image. I need to give it a HTML tag and set the object fit to cover. As for aspect ratio, if I look at this is maybe 4:6, I think. So 4:6. Let me save. And then I will now proceed to run the query loop. And I just want to finish the styling and everything that we have to do on this card, and we move on to the CTA card. So let me add the query loop. We are looking to create, we have 9 items, right? But so the query loop should generate 8 items so that we have the CTA should be the 9th item, right? Okay, so let's do that. Post, and we want 8 items. And that should be it. And as you can see, my headings are a little bit large. It's not what I want. Let me reload the canvas. Why does it? I don't like why it's like pulsating, right? I don't really like this. Okay, so let me quickly go to spacing and let me bring this down. Perfect for it. Oh, wait. Whoa. This is spacing. I'm on the wrong page. Major, or even it's major third, minor third. Yeah, I think the font size is a little bit much. Let's just bring it down. I don't need to do any extra hacks and stuff. So yeah, see, now we have our page populated. Boom. With our call to action, everything is there. And the next step now, let us create our clickable parent. So we make the whole card clickable. And like I said before, we've already added a position relative to the card itself due to the overlay and the image. But now, since we're going to add a clickable parent, we also want it to contain the clickable parent. We don't want the link to go outside of the card and affect other elements. So let's go to our CSS. Okay, we have our light. Let's go to our CSS root. And sorry, here we need to add, make sure that we select the after pseudo element of the links, because that is what we're going to expand to the whole card to make sure that the whole card is clickable. Okay, here we go again, position app. I always write position wrong. Position absolute. Is set is 0, and our cursor will be on the pointer. Let me just add an important to make sure that it all comes through. And I forgot to add let me try something. It seems that if you add a post title, you just post it, okay, it doesn't make it a link. Good to know. So we must add a link to it. So this should be the post link, and let's save that. And as you can see, our whole card is now clickable. You can click on the whole card. Okay, Now that we have said that, now we can move on to the next thing and start playing with interactions. And I'll also be adding some styling for for accessibility purpose, like if you'd want to tap through the cards, for example. Let's tap. See, we can already tap through the cards, and it gets like this. You can see the overlay that's on it, right? So we want to remove that. Oh, by the way, I already in the core framework styling, I already added some code for the focus and stuff. So focus visible. So there is some stuff going on. I will see if I need to remove anything here, but we'll see. Let's just look at the card. I'll first lay down some comments. So this is the comments for the card. I need a comment for the image. I need a comment for the overlay. I need a comment for the CTA button too. And this is all I need. If I need more, I can always add it. Okay, so let's start out with the root. First of all, we want that to have a transition. Let's do 5 in these. Okay, that's the first thing that we want. I'm just gonna see here, so you can see once you hover over it. I don't even know if I'm doing anything with the image. It only seems like the gradient is reacting. So you know what? Let me just fix the card first. So we need to. I want to first. I'm going to first remove those styles on the. Once you're tabbing through the cards, so focus within. We want to target the focus. Once we tab through, and here we can say the outline. Set it to none, and if there's any box shadow, set that also to none. And here on the root, then we can then say to focus within. We can give it like a box shadow, or maybe we can give it an outline, right? Like, yeah, something like this. I'm just going to try that. Let's see what happens. Outline. Just going to make it something maybe really ugly. Solid, and then var secondary. Okay, so we added focus within the secondary color. Let me test this out. Let us just tap through again. For the life of me, I'm not. You can see it you can see that. Let me boost let me make this like 4 pixels or something, so you can see it. You see? 1, 2. So we're just tabbing through the cards, and this one is getting skipped. Obviously, there's no link on it. Okay, so obviously that's not what I want, so maybe we can give it a box shadow. I think that will work better. Box shadow of, I have no idea. So this is for the, I I think X or Y as axis. This is for the blur, and this will be for the spread. And then we add a color to it, which would be var, I think dark, whoops, dark, transparency dark 80 or something. No, 20. There we go. I think 10 is better. It's a little bit too strong. Boom. Yeah, see? So we have a subtle box shadow on our cards when we tap through. So when we hover, we don't have that, but we can also put it in as a hover. So I could say once you hover over this card, I want to have the same box shadow. So let's see what we get. So there it is. Okay. Wait. Let me add the seconds here. Better. It was not. I didn't see the transition was not activated because I didn't type it correctly. Okay. So we have this set. Let's move on to the. I want to skip the image. I'll come back to the image. Let's skip back to the overlay. So let me copy this. We need to set the transition on the overlay. So root overlay also has a transition to it. And then we move on to giving it a hover. I don't like typing things. So hover, we don't need this. And then we write root. So once you hover over the card, we want the root overlay to behave this way. So opacity should be 1. And then I'll go back to the neutral state and say the opacity is 0.7. So you see to get slightly lighter, 0.8. So once you hover over it, it gets darker. See? It's subtle, but it's there. If I said 5, it would be like very light, and just makes the effect stronger. Let's leave it at 7. Yeah. Okay, now that we've done this, let me save real quick because we're moving real quick through this. Let me also do this for the let me do this for the button. What I actually want here on it's the CTA and also the CTA. I actually want it to be like transparent, like, right? So once you hover, it becomes, it shows up. It would be cooler if this was a darker color though, but you get the point. So it shows up once you hover over it. So we have our ease, maybe I can make this a little bit long, maybe 1 second. CTA. Wait, let me check real quick. Card CTA. I'll put it at 4. That's weird. I'm not sure if it's working. I'm not getting that feeling. Wait, let me save this and check on the front. Root CTA. The button is root cliff card CTA and start CTA. Okay, set to 10 seconds. Why is this happening? Okay, that is peculiar. The opacity is working great, but it's not, the transition is not doing what I want it to do. Transition. Did I forget anything? I didn't forget anything, right? Everything's good. Root, hover, root, CTA. Okay, so these are the moments that I start thinking like, okay, am I going crazy or what? It's totally not reacting, guys. Let me check the code. See if I maybe missed something. Maybe I'm not seeing something. Content, header, span. Why is it? Why is my transition being crossed out? It's totally ignoring my transition. Why is that? Okay, and if I, is it giving me a reason? Because I don't see any other transition. If I add an important, I don't like using important, but okay, so now it works. But what was blocking it from not working? Okay, I need to add important to it. I don't know what is blocking it from working, and basically I don't want to be searching that out right now. Okay, so now we have, let me just test this to 5 seconds and see. Oh, it's taking forever. Okay, it works. Okay, so just give it 0.5. Yeah, at least I know it works. Put this back to 5. Okay, spent way too much time there. Furthermore, let me just reload this. Okay, now let's do something with the image. So I'm going to copy everything again. Go to the image. I'm going to try something. It might work, it might not work. And work, I mean, it might not look good, but we'll see. So I just changed this class to image, so it's target the image. Same effect. As you see, the image just became lighter, but I don't want to do anything with the opacity. I actually want to do something with blur, and then set the blur to, I forget how this works. Wait, let me just check this out real quick. Blur MTN. So how does this work again? So, oh, got it. Yeah, sometimes you need to, wait, I didn't get it. Filter, yeah. You guys might be screaming at the screen again. Forgot the filter. Okay, so filter, blur, and then we add our, yeah, whatever value to it. 3 pixels. Oh, does this work with percentages? I don't know. It doesn't. It doesn't. No, doesn't do anything. Okay, so if it's 1 pixel, to blur it a bit. If it's 10 pixels, to blur a lot. Let me just see real quick, 4 pixels RAM. Okay, so pixels and RAM. Okay, that's the units we can put in there. Okay, so let's say we put this at like a ridiculous number, like 2 RAM. 4M. Would this be nice to look at? You just jump on a page, you see no images, but then you suddenly hover over the images, and then it just reveals itself. It's also a cool effect. Maybe it's hurting your eyes. Maybe it might hurt your eyes, guys. Look, it's a very strong effect. And somewhere, yeah, it has something to it, right? I mean, you have this and you have this. This is subtle. But what we could also do is just do something that's subtle, so we get the following. I'll just do this, set this to like, if I do 1 or 0.2, but this just looks, you know, some kind of way to 1, so it's like suddenly blurry. So once you just hover over it, it gets darker. So it blurs out a little bit. I mean, we could also blur it out, scale it, so you could do the following. You could also add scale to it. By the way, is scale also a filter? Scale. Oh, transform. But you can also just, funny thing, you can write it this way, transform scale, but you can also just say scale, set it to 1.1. See? So you can do both. So it's 1.3, just a little bit. 1.2, 1.2, 1.1, just a nudge. I like this, but I don't like I think the blurriness is throwing me off. And if I put it to like something ridiculous like 4, oh, that's sorry, 4 might be just too strong, like bam. But I think it just has something to it, right? Maybe if I blur it more, but it just, guys, I'm leaving it like this, I think. Just boom. But you don't even see the image scaling, so nah. Let's just remove it. It was a nice idea, but I don't know. How about we do this in the scale? I'm trying this out. So we say 2. That's way too much. So it actually just goes back. That's also pretty cool. 1.5, just a little bit. It gets pushed back. Yeah, let's leave it like this. But as you can see, there are many ways of playing with this. If you ever have time, you can just go to the MDN filter here, and it will basically like show you all the, you know, you have contrast, you have grayscale. Look at this, all the stuff you can do: contrast, blur, right? Drop shadow, invert, opacity, saturate, sepia. So a lot of cool stuff you can do with the filter function, filter property, sorry. So I think we've got everything down. The card is pretty much done. But we forgot one more thing, and that is, once you start tabbing, as you can see, it's not applying my effects. Once I hover over it, it has the effects. So what we want is, once I tab through it, I want the effects to also show. So we need to add the footer focus, the focus within class to all the hover effects. So to give you an example, let's go here, image, I will just copy this, and then I'll also say paste this and do focus within focus. So once we're tabbing focus within, it should also apply the scale. I will just copy this and add it to the other ones. This should be overlay, and this should be CTA, so that they will also have the same effects. So let's do this again. So I'm tabbing, skip to toolbar, skip to content, and there we go. See, this is what we want to see. We can go back, we can go forward, go back. Yeah, so this is cool. And as if you notice, I did not add any link to the button. It's just more a placeholder thing, and since the card is clickable anyways, people can just click and then they'll go to where they have to be. I mean, on hover you could also maybe change the color of the heading here. There are lots of things you could do. Okay, so I think we have done everything we have to do on the heading. Let us style the CTA. You can do that real quick. So let's go flex, column, directions column. Make sure we center this. Also the typography, I'll center it. Alignment axis, also center this. I will add a gap. It's a little bit much. This is okay. And I will also add a padding of L. I think the same as the cards on top. So we get this, and we need to give this some kind of design. So in this case, we could also go for a gradient. So I think we'll go for a dark one. So one that ranges from 80 to maybe something lighter, 40. You know what? We'll just keep it dark. So maybe 90, 80, something like this. And then I will just give the typography white. I have to update this thing. So it should be white at all times. Although we have a light and dark mode activated. So let me see what actually happens. I didn't really set it up for light and dark mode, but you can see my heading is changing. So this is light, I think. This is dark. But I want it to stay white at all times, so yeah, just add it here. Light, so that's done. So basically we're done with this. We could also create a clickable parent here on the heading, but would instead of adding the link here on the quote, we'll add it to the heading. And then I just go to the heading and just copy the same code, because we are not going to be retyping that. So our heading, and we just drop that in, and we give the CTA card a position of relative, and there we go. I did not know there's no hover or anything here. It's just basically a quote. Yeah, we could add it. We could add interaction, obviously, but we're not going to do that. So we have all our cards here, right? So let's check the DOM real quick. As you can see, here in the DOM, we have our UL and we have our list. They're all in a list, including the CTA card. So now the trick to get it in the right order, and you might be thinking, okay, I can use the order property to say, you know, I don't know, it's on the, it's if you do a count, it should be 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. So maybe if I went to this card and said, okay, I want it to always be on the order on the 5th, nothing happens. The reason why nothing happens is because the default value of elements, the default value of the order element is 0. So 0 is starting here and they're all 0. So because of their position in the DOM, it just lays it out this way. So if I set this to 5, I'm actually setting it further, so nothing will happen. If I also set this to -1, oh sorry, that's the wrong card. If I set this to -1, it would jump to the front because it's -1 and then 0. But now I only have two options, right? I can either have it at the end or at the front, but I want it to somehow come between or in any position of this, of the flow of the query loop, right? Because our CTA card is now literally also a list item in this unordered list. So the way to do that is to add to the unordered list. We're going to have to add some CSS styling where we are manipulating the nth child and placing this on the place that we want it. But then we'll have to give every single card a specific order. And since this is going to always be like a grid of 9 items, it's not something that we have to be changing often, right? Or if you only had 6 cards, you could do the same thing with it. If you had like 5 services and 1 call to action, you could also do the same thing with it. And there's no need adding, if you added the code to the card itself, they don't share the same classes, right? So that won't work. So you must do this on the grid list. So we basically do add the nth child and say 1 is the first one, and then we're just going to go through it. So this is the order. The first one is the first, right? Let me just lay everything out. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, and then we have the 9th one. Let me just add some comments. This will be the CTA card. Can't type today. This will be the CTA card, and let me move this up, copy it here, and this will just be the normal card or cards. Okay, so now this is the 9th list item, right? Oh wait, I forgot to add this. Made a mistake because I want to target the list. So sorry about that. List, go to add list. Oof. Okay, tripping. List. As you can see, it's affecting the order, and the thing I did before did nothing actually. So now we are saying that the list item in the grid list element, you should target the child elements of the list. So as I showed you before in the DOM, you can see all the list elements here, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. So there are 9 of them. So now we're saying we're giving each specific list an order. So this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4. This has to be 5 because I want it in the middle, so it will actually come here, and this is be 6 7 8 9. So that's basically what we're going to do. So if you did not follow me, let me show you. So this is 1, right? No, this is not 1. Where's 1? This is actually 1, but 1 has been pushed away because the orders have they're all in the first position. So this is 1. This is 2. This is 3. This is 4. Wait, let me just even put in the right numbers first. Sorry, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then we have 9. So now let's fix the order. So this is 1, yes. This is 2. This will be 3. This will be 4, and then this will be 5. But then I need to remove the order of 0 here. Okay, the card is gone. Where is my 5, 4? This should be 6. This should be 7. This should be 8, and this should be 9. Something I'm not doing something right. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Did I add too much weight? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, sorry, my bad. This has to go. Added too much. So 7, 8. It should be 9. In child order 9, order 5. Okay. And now the next question is, my order is not displaying on the right place. So let me see, did I overlook something? I have list. I must be overlooking something. Child 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 4, 5, 6. Okay, see, I'm trying to find out what I'm not seeing. Ah, there it is. I almost started tripping. Okay, it works now, guys. No panic, don't panic. Okay, there it is. Okay, so as you can see, we've given it a position. So if you would want to move it to the 6th position, it's just a matter of rearranging, right? I think if I move this to the 6th, it would go to the 6th position. But now there are two. I think 5 is also on the 6th position. Let me see if I go to 4. It can't. 3. Oh, it does. Or you can actually move it up like this. Oh, that's nice. I never actually tested this way. Just put it on that position and that's it. And 1. And they both, the first one, they're both sharing the first position. So if I want to go over it, I have to go to, wait, -1. Yeah, -1. 1. So if I want to go to the 9th position, I can switch to the 9th position. So yeah, this is basically the way to do this, because we have given them an order. Before they all had the same order 0, which is the highest, right? Which is the default value. Okay, it's not the highest because -1 trumps that, but 0 is the default. So let's put this back at 5. So I wanted this in the middle, and this is basically what I've done. Now let's just check the responsive mode, because that let's get this thing stretching, I think. I totally did not take any account for the height of the image. Wait, let me do that real quick. Go to your media, your image, set the height to 100%, and save yourself embarrassment when people are critiquing your site. So we have 100% image right there. I think on this mode it should switch to it should switch to 2 columns. So let me just grab this code, put it here, switch it to 2 columns, and yeah, it's 760. I think it will get a little bit squishy though. Oh yeah, here we can just switch it to 1, and yeah, we have our quote there, and we're done, guys. So we went through a lot of stuff. So as you can see, we went through the following things, like we set up the structure, we added classes, styled the card, made it clickable, added all the interactions on the overlay, the image, the CTA, and this is our end result. We added the order. So I hope that you guys have learned a lot from this. I also learned again. So there's some things I actually did not even know, but I also learned some stuff too. So yeah, thanks for watching. It's a long watch. I will always be annotating the video, so adding the different chapters to just make it easier to just skim through, right? Because if I just add, because I think the video is now just over an hour, it's a minute, now we're going to 2 minutes over an hour. So I think if I just add the chapters, it will make it easier for viewing. But you're only going to hear this if you reach the end of the video. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.